Hey, what's going on everybody? This is G The Hypersapien, and in this video we're going to continue to explore Ironjawz Range. This time I'm taking a look at Orruk Weirdnob Shaman. This little blister box, you can see the image on the front, flip it over and you can see the miniature inside on the back. But as always, let's bust this open and have a look. So when you bust him out of his cage, you get the build guide, you get the base, and then you get 2 sprues. So like always, we'll look at the build guide first. So on the top here, you get some symbols to help you put it together. So you get this red magnifying glass symbol, that's detailed view. Dry fit stage before gluing, so it suggests to dry fit before you glue. And then this symbol is rotate part. So step 1, dry fit stage before gluing. Piece 1 is his body, you get the legs and his arm here. So like most of the new Orruk range, you have this exposed tongue piece here that the face slides on top of, and then you have his other hand. But it's saying to dry fit just so you know where these pieces go. But the yellow parts of the miniature is where you put the glue. So you put this on, and then you put the third piece on, which is his chest. Now this is the parts of the miniature you've just built. Then you put 4 and 5, this skirt piece and his weapon here. Now that goes over the front of him, and 5 goes onto the side here. You can see it goes up against this little bag here. Detailed view, it shows you another shot where the blade is, which is really nice that it shows you that. So you can see that the blade goes up against these pouches here. One is attached to the blade, and then one's on the body already. Now step 2, 1, it shows you all the pieces that you've already built. Piece 6, you smash it up against here, so the face goes over the tongue piece here, and then the cloak comes up over his arm here. Detailed view, it shows you another angle, so you can see the cloak drapes over his arm here. Step 3, this is dry fit stage before gluing. 7 and 8, see this cloak goes and attaches to his face, but also it comes over his shoulders here. Now piece 8 goes over and drapes over this arm here. Piece 13 is his hand and the rest of his fingers. You can see that that easily just glues on the side here. Then detailed view, it shows you another angle of how this cloak goes. So step 4 is to build his magical staff. So piece 10 is his hand that's already attached to this staff, and it has a bit of this wire energy coming off it. So 11 will go, 11 clips on here to make the rest of this smoke here that's coming out of his staff. So you can see that just slides on here, and then it attaches and makes all this smoke. Piece 12 is the skull, you can see it attaches on there, and the smoke comes out of the top of it. The hand goes onto his arm here, and then it has a detailed view, another angle of how the arm and hand attaches. 9, you can see these huge horns that go on the side of the Orruk Shaman here. Now step 5, you just glue him onto the base, and then he's done. Scan QR code for the war scroll. Now let's take a look at the sprue. You can see the body here with his hand and his legs. We flip it over, you can see the pole here. Really love this smoke, how detailed that is. There's a lot of texture in this smoke. His hand, it's got this huge bone here, and then it has this wooden staff that's going into it. And then he shoved this huge nail just to pin them both together. That's how all this is how all the Orruks are nowadays. You have the tongue where the face slides on top of it. So a lot of times you can build this and paint the tongue, and then later on glue the face on top of it. Just depends if you want to do that or not. The rest of the smoke that glues onto the other side. So this is a really easy build, you wouldn't really even need that guide. And then I really love this huge skull piece with the iron jaw attached to it, and the skull with these horns on the side. They've been strapped on. So you can see this huge jaw piece, and then they bolted on some bits of iron onto the jaw. This is the rest of the Orruk Weirdnob Shaman. I love these huge horns here. I want to see if I can make these horns go upwards instead of down next to the side of his jaw. Now it looks like the piece of cloth here is what's going to go over his head, so probably going to need to cut them off and flip them around if I can. But yeah, we'll see what we can do with that. Always like to always like to convert my models a little bit just to make them my own if I can. Also, I'm going to see if I can change the hand here, because I'm not really the biggest fan of this hand, but we'll see. Some metal, the Ironjawz always strapped to their stuff. Huge skulls. Skirt piece with more of that metal around. They always strap these pieces of metal to them, the Ironjawz. They're sort of in the shape of teeth. This sort of vulture looking bird skull here. A couple of teeth. Some skulls and some more of those jagged pieces of armor. Now look how crazy and detailed his face is. His eyes are really wide open. It almost looks like a skull, his face. Like, just that little piece there is almost like a skull. His eyes are really wide open, staring at you, and then he's got the pupils. So that's both of the sprues. So this was my review for the Ironjawz Orruk Weirdnob Shaman. I hope you enjoyed it. If you could smash the like button, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. But as always, this was G The Hypersapien. I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.